discussing it was he didn't seem to believe that oral communication was reliable.
Where did he state that in his video? Stop there, one point at a time.
40 years after Muharram.
No. Do you recollect a phrase or a statement? No, sorry. If you have watched a video of a professor or a scholar explaining something, of course, it means that there's something that you have understood from it, which gives you the indication that yes, this is what he's saying. What do you recollect that he said that gives you the indication that, just be patient, that gives you the indication that the oral transmission is not reliable? Would you like to share? Because I've watched that interview too. So at least both of us have seen the same interview. So go ahead. What do you recollect?
Well, the way I look upon it, when I was a kid in school, just basically being a kid in school, so a little child.
So was I. Yeah. So no different between you and me here.
The teacher would play a game. And what she do is she write on a piece of paper something, she'd tell a little child something, and that child would tell the next person, and by the time it goes around, just maybe 20 kids in a class, by the time we got to the end, the message was totally obliterated.
Chinese whispers, right?
And so what she'd do is she'd show us what was she originally said, so it'd be different.
Sure. Is this what Yasir Qadi was talking about?
So I know you guys are scholars, or
no, we're not scholars.
Very learned.
We are not scholars.
And missionaries,
so,
whatever, but
would you mind coming back to Yasir Qadi? It's very important because everyone wants to learn now. Because you seem to have some issues and concern.
Yeah.
What of the statement of Yasir Qadi indicated to you that the oral transmission of the Quran is not reliable, as you stated?
Because of people like Chinese whispers, as it was.
Did he explain that way?
No, he didn't say Chinese whispers.
So what did he explain?
I'm not bright enough, to be honest, to gather all the details because I've already said. Okay, so I'm not saying anything. I can't say that things I don't know. But the questions I have for you, gently.
Stop, please. Dave, sorry.
Wait.
I apologize for interjection and interruption. I'm not going to move away from Yasir Qadi as his starting point, and then allow me to make my point.
No.
Please allow me to make my point. With all due respect, you have stated that you have watched Yasir Qadi. Now, I could ask you for clarification. Was this the interview that he had, or out of his? 1 second. Out of his. Excuse me, Dave. Excuse me, Dave. It is not fair that you just throw a name on the table and you assume that everyone knows what they're talking about. So do you have any concern from Yasir Qadi, or are you going to move on to the next scholar?
What is your main objection with Yasir Qadi's statement?
No. From what I've been told, that
By who?
By the Quran.
Yes. Okay. Let me deal with it.
It's come down to one. So with all respect, I was talking to someone completely different than yourself and other people.
Why don't you then speak to us now, and we'll see what we understand.
So basically, my primary concerns is, as I understand it, from listening, okay, and I'm not a scholar.
So remember, recollect what you have listened.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
I'll let you talk more.
Oh, okay.
As I understand it, okay, when Muhammad said 7 times, 7 ways this presentation being done. So my point is if that's supposed to make it more simple, how is 7 times more simple than just the one?
Because for them, at that time,
without explaining anything, let's go to the bottom of the subject.
Okay.
So carry on.
But what worries me as well is when he went on to, I know Uthman, it might have been the 3rd caliph, is it?
Yeah,
is he the 3rd caliph? When he burnt Qurans, what?
non-standard Quran.
That is, I mean, surely, I'll be funny, but when I've seen people get yelled at and protested at burning Qurans.
Different reasons, we both know that.
Let's not even...
My point is that the Quran...
One is malicious, you know that.
The Quran's being burnt. Yeah, but this guy, for me, what this guy is doing, this caliph, it sounds malicious to me.
Why?
Because why would you burn Qurans? Unless you want to get rid of them.
Well, you said you have researched it, so why did he burn the Quran?
Excuse me. I haven't researched. I didn't say so you're putting things in my mouth.
No, but you said he burned the Quran, so you must have read something, right?
Well,
or you heard it from someone.
Well,
Which one is it?
You know, where I've heard it from. I was just seeing it
So
on
it's
YouTube.
hearsay mostly, yeah.
Okay, so that happened.
Okay.
To put the Quran smaller again. Then there's more. There seems to be more Qurans
There's too many already. That's fine.
in history. So then it gets codified into 7. So. I mean,
I think it's got the both
It goes to 7,
That's fine.
to 14,
Let
to
him finish
25,
and then we'll
and
deal with
apparently,
That's fine. We'll answer your
apparently,
question, inshallah.
apparently, according to this scholar, it goes up to possibly 50 at one point, around the 10th century.
Which scholar?
So,
Hashim,
so
let him speak and see.
Listen,
Where is Mr.
I just want to know why.
You speak to me, right? Because the brother invited me.
Yeah.
So speak to me. Then
Mansur knows more about it, so I will delegate it to Mansur to
so
respond to you.
So basically, what I want to know is, it seems like there's a history from what I've looked at, like on YouTube. So if unless he's lying, that is a possibility, because I don't know the chap personally. But from the way he was talking, it goes from lots of different Qurans suddenly to being qualified into only a couple, into a few. Then it seems to expand again, and people seem to be Muslims apparently are quite happy with the expansion of Qurans. And then it seems to be put down to like 14. So, or 10, then 14. So I'm just wondering what's happening. How does this happen?
sure.
And why? Why does?
Would you like to know the answer?
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
Very good. So now let's go back to Yasir Qadi, because you've watched his.
No. Wait.
Why are you interrupting when I'm speaking?
Because I've asked
Excuse
a
me,
question.
Yeah, he's answering you, but you have to give him the chance.
Try to behave in a civilized way. So I tried to listen to you when I interrupted you, and I apologize for interrupting in the beginning. So I let you speak.
Yeah.
You've made your question, and I've listened to it.
Okay.
All right? In my head, I've made points.
Okay.
Now, you started by saying you also listened to a scholar, and you've named that scholar, Dr. Yasir Qadi.
And there's another one called dear. Sadai something. I can't remember his name. But go on, yeah.
No problem. You can remember this thing.
Yeah,
I don't know who you're talking to,
right.
talking about, but that's fine.
Yeah.
So you've watched Dr. Yasir Qadi.
So
What
I've seen a couple, two different scholars.
would you like to let me speak?
Yeah, I'm just saying. No, I just want to clarify.
Of the two scholars we
I've
heard
seen
you,
two
that's fine.
scholars
Sure.
talking about the Qurans.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously
Fine,
they're experts in the Quran apparently.
Wait, stop there.
So I just want to know what's
Dave,
going on.
Stop there. Yasir Qadi, what is his expertise? Dr. Yasir Qadi.
I'm assuming he's
Why you assume?
Imam.
Why you assume? You should, once you know someone is a scholar. For example, there was a guy that's supposed to come here. One moment. Why are you interrupting when I'm speaking?
I know,
Excuse
you asked
me.
me a question, so I just remembered something.
So go ahead.
I saw Yasir
What
Qadi.
is his specialty
I
in?
saw Yasir Qadi particularly in an interview with.
No, I'm asking you a simple question. I'm asking you a simple question.
I'm answering your question. I saw that chap in a dialogue.
I am asking you a very simple
James
question.
White, so-
Very simple question.
But his highest level of education, where is it from? What university?
Brother, fine. Dr. James White, what is his specialty? Do you know?
Yeah, well, he's an apologist, particularly.
Apologies, fine.
Yeah.
What is his specialty of Dr. Yasir Qadi?
I don't know. Well, apparently he did.
Don't say apparently. Either you know or you don't.
Well, apparently he went to Saudi Arabia.
No,
I think
excuse
it
me.
is to-
Apparently, there is no such thing apparently. If someone is a scholar,
are you trying to say
allow
you
me
don't
to
know
finish
who
my
Yasir
point.
Qadi is?
Excuse me.
No, are you saying you don't know who he is? And he's
No, it's not me
qualified?
that I don't know. I'm asking you.
Well, no, it's
So-
important because you're saying.
I know who he is.
Your question.
I know what his specialty is.
Fine.
Dave, will be easy if you
Dave-
just said I don't know.
So
much easier.
here is the clarification that's needed. When you put forward Yasir Qadi as a specialist in the Quran, so I'm going to ask you once more, to make it clear, right? Hear my question. When people become a scholar, they specialize in a very specialized subject.
Yeah.
For example, once you do your PhD, this is your specialization. And then you can further specialize within the field of what you've done in your thesis, right? You can further specialize.
Yeah.
So, do you know what was the thesis of his PhD on what specialty, number one? Secondly, what is his specialty that he understands to be his specialty?
Okay. Now,
You have the option to say no. I don't know.
What I want to know is.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
No. I want the simple answer Yeah.
No, I'm asking you the question.
Are they right?
Excuse me,
Are
no.
they wrong?
There is no running away from this discussion.
No, there isn't.
Here,
Are they right? Or are they wrong?
Excuse me,
That's
Dave.
what I need to know.
Dave,
So you need to
if
tell
you are
me-
interested in a polemical discussion, you've come to the wrong platform.
Listen.
If you are sincere
listen.
and you're willing to learn and engage in a discussion in an
you're
academic
not-
manner,
you're not
and you
discussing it.
sincerely want to know about the subject, then you need to clarify this question.
No.
Do you
I've
know
asked
the
my questions.
specialty
I've
of
asked my
Dr.
questions.
Yasir Qadi?
You are deflecting what I'm asking. I'm asking simple
Okay,
questions.
the
about
audience who are
history.
listening, do you understand my question?
I'm asking.
Good.
I'm
So the
asking-
question I'm asking is, if I bring,
No, no. I'm asking questions about your history, Quranic history.
I'm trying to answer them for you.
No, you're not. You're talking about Yasir Qadi. You're talking about all this.
Who brought him up? Who brought him
You're
up?
talking about everything.
Who brought him up?
Listen.
I will listen. But can you answer?
Everything.
Did you bring him up?
You are talking about everything other than what I've asked.
But I'm trying to answer.
No, you're deflecting.
How am I
You're
deflecting?
I've
Enlighten
asked
me, how am I
questions.
deflecting?
I've asked the questions.
Yeah.
You're deflecting.
Okay, can I answer now?
Okay, no, you're deflecting.
It appears he doesn't know the qualification.
Okay.
Maybe you can just tell him.
You
Mansur.
are deflecting. I've asked simple questions
No.
about.
Never give them the answers. Let them do some homework.
Okay, I've asked you questions for you to answer those.
Right,
those.
let me now answer you.
So
Okay?
now I want the answers.
Let
to
me
those
answer you.
questions. No,
Let me
not
answer you.
deflecting.
Let me answer you. In support of your claim, you brought a scholar.
That's scholars. Two scholars, different scholars.
When you say two scholars,
Yeah.
you don't remember the name. You don't remember the name of the other scholar. But what is his specialty? You don't know, or do you know?
I don't know that.
Fine. So when you bring a support for assertion or a statement that you make for a
Yeah.
claim, and you don't even know whether they're qualified or not on that subject, we can just rest assured, leave them aside for the time being until you can demonstrate that in any court of law, when you bring a witness.
Okay.
Let me finish. I have not finished yet.
Wait. No,
I have not
listen,
finished.
you're
When you
deflecting
bring a witness in a court
need
of
to-
law,
Excuse me.
You
I
need
have
to
not
stop
finished.
interrupting.
When you bring a witness in a
This is
court of
Speaker's
law,
Corner.
and the judge wants
This
to
is
know,
Speaker's Corner.
Not
I'm
in-
asking
is the
a
witness,
question.
why are you interrupting? Why are you interrupting?
Because you're not answering the
I am
questions.
answering.
No, you're not.
So listen.
You're deflecting.
So in a court of
You
law,
are deflecting.
when a witness is invited
This is
to
Speaker's
provide,
Corner.
excuse
This is
me,
Speaker's Corner.
Dave,
You ask questions.
Dave,
And if someone reflects, if
Dave,
someone wants a simple
the
answer,
whole world is watching you.
I don't care.
You don't
Listen,
care?
I don't
The whole world is going to judge you by what you are saying and what you're
the whole
doing
world
and how
is
you're
going to
behaving.
judge you by you not answering back to answer
But
simple
I
questions
am
about-
putting things
You have to let him
straight.
finish.
So let me finish, right?
No,
So-
wait. Just answer the question.
I am.
If you
Don't you
can't-
understand? I'm answering.
You're not.
So
You're
be
talking about-
patient.
You didn't answer.
So here is how I answer.
Listen, you're-
So, allow me to finish?
You didn't answer.
Right.
Answer
So
him. He
when
said,
you,
this guy
when
not
you,
scar.
brother, please, thank you very much. I don't need any support. When you bring a support for your statement, an evidential support, in a court of law, let me finish.
No.
If you keep on interrupting, then you better walk away. Because you're not willing to have a dialogue in knowledge and sincerity. Because I can, if you are, then let me finish then. Okay, I take 2 minutes to make my point. Okay? What time if you want. When we want to support our statement, like in a court of law, when somebody says, I know this is what you're 2 minutes and you can't even, subhanallah.
Go on, listen.
2 minutes. 2 minutes. So when the court summons a professional, an expert for corroborating a statement or something with their professional judgment, they can't just bring Tom, Dick and Harry in the street to provide, say, I'm a cardiac surgeon and I know when this guy has operated, being operated on his heart, that's where the malfunction was or the error of judgment was of that surgeon who operated it. So I can tell you as a second opinion or an expert, the operation was done incorrectly. Let me finish, not 2 minutes yet. Well, what's wrong with you? Now,
Excuse me.
so,
I didn't say anything.
thank you. So don't just be agitated then. So when you bring support for your claims, an expert, we need to first understand, is this person an expert or not? You can't just bring any person who supposedly, is well known. I can bring, for example, Tony Blair, he's well known worldwide as an expert in the Quranic sciences. But that is not going to be acceptable. Why? His fame doesn't count. What counts is his professional knowledge and expertise. So, you started by claiming that you have a scholar who said oral transmission isn't reliable. 2 questions I asked. And I am not going to move away from these 2 questions unless you answer them. Or you say, I don't know. What is this expertise of Dr. Yasir Qadi? In what specialty? Secondly, where does he say in his interviews or in his lectures that oral transmission of the Quran is not reliable, as you said? Those of you who have joining us late, go back to the video and rewind and say he made that statement.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Now, still, after all this, right? I was asking the Muslim about what I saw. This is a simple conversation. Hope you find a simple answer. Okay. So now get Mansur. Is it Mansur? Your name? What's your name? Sorry.
Carry on, I'm listening. Why am I supposed to interrupt?
I'm asking what your name is. Mansur. So I get Mansur. So I asked him the same stuff, and what do I get? I still haven't got an answer. He's spoken for 15-20 minutes. But is he giving me an answer?
You made a claim and he was trying to clarify your claim was incorrect.
Is he giving me an answer to a query I got? Okay, so I don't know much of it Islam. I've already said that. Okay, so I'm expecting an answer. And after a lot of talking and a lot of stuff, he still hasn't given me an answer.
Well, he's laying the platform. Your answer.
So why there's like 25, some point to 50 Qurans this particular chap was talking about in his dialogue on YouTube, and he's a Muslim scholar. So while I'm not an expert and I hold my hands up not to being an expert,
It's clearly obvious you're not.
That's fine. You don't have to be an expert. I've got questions from experts that still haven't been answered, apart from lots of deflections. Okay.
So what is the expert in, and where did he say what you said?
So ultimately, I still haven't. I don't know. You seem to be an expert.
Never claimed to be one.
I still haven't got an answer though.
So I think the discussion will soon end because you're waffling. Your waffling doesn't benefit anyone. I came to give you an opportunity. Remember, I didn't come and say.
You're not answering.
I am now talking. I am now talking.
Listen, you're
I am now talking.
You're not answering.
Dave, I am talking. So learn how to behave and talk.
No.
If you don't know how to talk, then perhaps you need to go back to.
I was hoping you.
No, I was hoping that you at least understand how we talk to each other. If you don't even know how to talk to people, then first lesson is learn how to talk. Second lesson is ask if you don't know. Third lesson is ask sincerely.
I have asked.
Right.
I was talking sincerely to the person I was originally talking to.
Right. Go ahead.
And the second person.
Answer the question that I asked.
And the second person I was
Dave,
talking to.
enough waffling.
Okay.
Now, what is his specialty?
No.
Do you know?
Excuse me. Don't tell me.
Do you know?
I'm explaining.
Do you know his specialty?
So don't
Do
say
you
I'm
know?
waffling. Excuse
Do
me.
you know his specialty?
You're showing me disrespect.
Okay. Those of you who are listening, how many times have I asked this question? What is the specialty of Dr. Yasir Qadi?
And
did you hear an answer?
Everybody watching, he still hasn't answered the question. He still hasn't answered the question.
Thank you very much. I don't waste the people, who come here for jokes. Sorry, people. I'm not a time waster for people who are jokers and comedians.
I want to know what happened.